What's going on, guys? It's DJ Kuhl, and today I'm back to teach you guys some more stuff about drill. This video we're going to be focusing on hi-hats. What we're going to be looking at today, as I said before, is hi-hats, and I'm going to kind of go in and teach you guys a few tips and tricks that I use that I hear a lot of other producers using when it comes to drill. And just remember, as you know, with any type of beat, any type of production you may do, like, you don't always need to go super crazy on the hats. I'm just giving you those kind of tools, so if you do need to go crazy with the hats, you can pull these tools out of your toolbox and you'll know them instead of not knowing them. You know, let's take a listen to this beat here. This is the beat that I made in my how to make a basic drill beat in 10 minutes video. I'll link that in the description, so you guys can go watch that and see how we got to this point if you want to. It's a very simple beat, and I'll play it for you guys just to refresh your memory. So as you can hear, the hats are not doing anything crazy by far, but I'm going to change that today. So if we go take a look at the piano roll, you can see, you know, its velocity's looking kind of boring, the pattern's looking really basic. So I'm going to teach you guys 4 things that you can do to make your patterns more lively and more exciting. So the first thing that you can do is velocity. You can change the velocity. You can move like the velocity of this one down, since it's something different. And I like to do velocity and change it a lot and add all these different types of rolls in, which brings us to our next thing. You can add in rolls, and I'm going to combine those first 2 things. That's why I touched on velocity first. I like to have my rolls kind of go down, like something like this. I'll demonstrate. So the velocity will be going down, so it'll sound kind of cool. You can also have the velocity going up if you want. You know, just whatever kind of sounds good. So I'm gonna kind of take a look in here and see what sounds good, and then I'll come back and explain to you guys what I did. Alright, so I'm back here, and what I did is I added in some rolls in this area only. I like to keep my hats kind of simple until it gets to this measure here, because, you know, you listen to it a few times, it gets kind of boring after a while. I'll play what I did, and I added in a roll here, and then a note here, and another roll in this area. Let's listen to that. You hear it's definitely a lot more complex than before. It adds a little something in there. And for now, I just duplicated it for the second 2-bar part as well. And that's going to bring me into our next point that I want to point out. So point 3 is you can change the pitch. So I'm going to come over here to the second time around, and I'm going to change the pitch of this roll, so it sounds like it's like descending or going down or becoming deeper in pitch, right? So let's take a listen to that. So yeah, that's definitely different than the first time. It adds a little something in there. I still think it needs something though. So I want to touch on my 4th and final tip for making your pattern sound more crazy, and that's panning. So I like to combine the pitching, the panning, and the rolls together. And I hear a lot of producers like 808 Melo and AXL beats, they'll add in rolls like here. I'm going to find a note with a higher velocity. So we've added the pitch element here, and we're also adding the rolls. But now we're going to go in and talk about panning. So what is panning? For those of you who don't know, panning is like putting stuff from one ear to the next ear. I know A Boogie's done it in some of his songs. This happens in Swerving, where they pan his voice from left to right. And I know this is done with drill hi-hats because I hear people like 808 Melo and AXL doing stuff like this. So to do the panning, do what I've already done here. You click down here and click note pan, and I've selected the 2 areas I've wanted to pan with the selection tool. I'm going to pan this one down, which is to the left on FL. So left is down and up is right. And so that will definitely catch your listener's ear and change it up and spice up, you know, what they're listening to. So let's listen to the whole pattern here with the beat. Alright, that sounded really cool. I'm just going to up the velocity of these 2 rolls here, because I think that it would be better if we could hear them more. I'll maybe add another kind of roll here. Just make sure that when when you're doing your panning, you pan it back when you put in more notes, because it'll remember the last note you clicked in. And then put that there. And let's listen to it for real this time. Alright, so I still think that these upper notes over in this area here could stand out more. And the second thing you can do is layer. So you can take all these and apply them to your layers if you want to. You could have how many different hi-hats you want, or you could have little snares, kind of like light, kind of airy snares. And that's what I got here. I got this snare here, and I also got an open hi-hat here, and I'm going to work on that after we do this. So I'm going to pop this over right where we had it, and I think it's going to stand out a lot more if I can get it on beat here. Now let's listen to this again. Yeah, that's definitely ear-catching more than the hats were, because it's a different sound that's coming in. And as I said before, you can obviously layer as many sounds as you want. I don't try to go too crazy. I usually cap it at like 2 or 3. But some beats, you might have an upward of 5 to 6 that you're layering just to make it sound a little different. And someone like 808 Melo, AXL, as I said before, and even Great John, they like to experiment with their hi-hats. So the number one rule I say when it comes to hi-hats is don't be afraid to experiment, because you have Great John, who's using very minimalistic hi-hats and having them in non-traditional places for drill beats, and he produces for Chef G and Sleepy Hollow, and you hear how their beats sound way different from a traditional drill beat. Don't be afraid to experiment. So the final thing I want to touch on is putting in open hats. When I do my open hats, I like to line them up with the kick, but you can kind of put them anywhere to kind of get that bounce. If you think it sounds good in a different spot, you can put it in there. It's kind of the same principles if you've ever produced trap before. Usually you put the hi-hat, open hat with the kick, but sometimes you might have it, right before the snare or something like that. So I'm just going to kind of layer it with the kick, and we'll listen to all that together. Yeah, that's been, a more in-depth overview of hi-hats. We reviewed velocity, we reviewed rolls, pitch, and panning. We've also reviewed layering with stuff such as open hats and perk snares. So I hope you guys learned something about, doing a drill hats as opposed to trap hats. And as you can see, if you guys have ever done trap before, drill hats are a lot more crazy than your average trap pattern. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, remember to leave a like and subscribe. And if you guys want to get inspired to make some drill, hit the link in my description for my email list. You sign up for that and you'll instantly get sent 5 free loops, and you can use these loops on BeatStars for free with no royalty charge when it comes to BeatStars and other selling platforms as that. So remember to, as I said, subscribe, hit that like button, drop a comment, and if you got any questions or want to see anything else, feel free to message me on any of my socials if you got any questions, and I'll see you guys later.